Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog? A cat? Or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Looking to upgrade your equipment? Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer in Nebraska and northern Kansas, has an offer you don't want to miss. Through December, purchase a model year 2022, 23, or 24 tractor, combine, or sprayer, and take advantage of financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months. That's right. Get the equipment you need with affordable payments designed to keep your operation running strong. Stop by your local Landmark Implement today or visit landmarkimp.com to learn more. Experience the Landmark difference.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three!
You called out the thunder.
Now, get ready
for the boom! Gaze into the face of fear.
Booga booga! Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman.
I think we're getting scammed by a kindergartner.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com.
Quick thinking yesterday with that special talents thing. I feel bad for the guy. Just hope he doesn't get wise.
This is The Block with Strick and Austin, presented by Nebco.
Welcome in one final time for calendar year 2024. It has flown by, second year of On the Block for me, Austin Norman, with my partner, Eric Strickland, just about in the books. But we got 2 hours of great radio to send your way, and we want your thoughts all show long. 402-464-5685. Let's bring him in, Husker Hall of Famer, my partner on the block, Eric Strickland. Stricky, baby, what's up? How you feeling on a Tuesday?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful on a Tuesday, Fat Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, and it is also New Year's Eve. Shout out to Elaine Strickland. Yes, the Strickland clan has one on New Year's Eve. Happy birthday, Mom. Love you, love you, love you. Wishing you well to have an amazing day today. And we're going to celebrate it with love and bring in the new year. And so, yeah, it's a great day, man.
That's what it's about. Stricky, how was your 2024? You look back at it. How was it? Good year for you?
I could say it was. Great things we did with Global Open Wound Care Cluster in our first year. And, with his consultation and just the things that he helped me out with here and getting that up and running, it was invaluable. So we did very, very well, looking to expand, hoping to get into Iowa sometime this year and continue that growth. And so that was good. And on the block, man, it was great. We had a great year. It's our second year now as partners, and I think that we continue to get better and hopefully add good content to you guys. We thank you to the listeners. Happy New Year's to you and yours and your families. We won't see you on that day, but we'll see you today so we can wish you well. And all the blockheads that listen in, we're appreciative of that, man. Yeah, I look back on it. A lot of things I learned, Austin, a lot of things I learned about me, about those around me. And so, yeah, man, as I reflect back, I'm appreciative of just a great year. I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm, alive and well.
At 36.
Yeah. I mean, because we've lost a lot. A lot of people have went on and passed on, and you lost a loved one as well. So life keeps lifing, man. And when we look back at it, I can just say I'm definitely appreciative. Many times I can look back at it and say that it's very possible that I may not have been here, but decisions that were made, I feel good about it. I'm happy about it. My kids are well. My family's well. And so, yeah, man, great year.
Love to hear. Yeah, no, absolutely no complaints, right? Ups and downs. We all have them in life. We all go through them throughout the year. But at the end of every year, I like to look back, just to see what happened, where we were in January, where we are now in December. And Strick, I'm nothing but grateful, nothing but blessed. That's how I feel at the end of a great year of 2024. And I hope that I hope our families and friends can take some time to pause and reflect on their own. And we'll see how many pause moments we have heading into 2020.
Well, there's definitely a pause because we have a mini Husker, Herbie, that was born and growing like weeds. He's already dang near little red size. Already. It's amazing how fast they grow up. But yeah, man, shout out to Beckett, man, sitting at home, probably looking at you or something like that.
I hope he's asleep. I hope it's nap time right now. He's down to one nap a day. So I'm hoping that little man is asleep. He'll probably be up by the end of the show, so we can certainly shout him out there. Lots to get to on today's show. A loaded last couple hours of the year for us here during On the Block. 402-464-5685 if you've got any thoughts. Strick, this happened late in the day yesterday. I think it's worth us talking about some transfer portal news for Nebraska football. The departure of Jalen Lloyd. That's an interesting piece for Nebraska to lose. What's your gut reaction, your initial reaction to Jalen Lloyd entering the transfer portal after 2 years as a Husker?
I'm gonna send this to you, Austin, because I think this is something I just found. But anyway, for me, Jalen Lloyd, right? Mm-hmm. This is the outcome sometimes when you have turnover. I think he felt that he was kind of on the outside looking in. He's now in his sophomore year, had a pretty good freshman year start. Jalen has he's put up, it's okay number. He's a deep threat guy. Mm-hmm. And they just didn't have the blocking and the protection to use his giftings as much as they had at times before. So, he's a 3-star athlete that he came in, and he's his numbers didn't really overwhelm you, but they were okay. I mean, you felt with 13 catches and 255 yards in his second season, and 19 and 400, almost 500 yards with 3 touchdowns in his freshman season. It looked like a regression. So when you have a turnover of there's 2 ways it can go. One, it can work to your favor, similar to what it did for Emmett Johnson, giving Emmett Johnson an opportunity to really step in the forefront. There was an assessment period, and it didn't seem like Jalen found himself in that assessment period where he could, show and improve his skills. And then you have, and I'll be short on this so that you can respond as well, because I know we got to get to EAS. But you also have the fact, Austin, that Jalen, you have newcomers, and they went shopping. They went shopping in the transfer portal, and with a new staff, that's kind of what they were looking for, and you kind of find yourself in an uphill battle for a fight. And so if you're going to fight that fight, sometimes people feel it's better to fight that fight, somewhere else where the opportunity is maybe open. Maybe there's someone liking you. Usually what happens in those situations is whoever was recruiting you before, if that staff is still on, they may still have a need or a want for you and what your skill set was, knowing what you were capable of doing and what you did do by putting it on tape, and as well as putting it by way of numbers. So you go in and shoot your shot out there in the transfer portal and see where it lands. Because if you were on the outside looking in and a new staff comes and there's new incoming receivers that, have probably some better stats than you, it makes that battle uphill, and he probably saw the writing on the wall and felt that there was a better opportunity out there for him.
3 whole snaps in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
Had a catch, but that's not a lot. And Strick, I think the Jalen Lloyd is a guy that Dana Holgorsen could have done some interesting things with next year, because when I look on the Nebraska football roster, there's not a proven deep threat there. Maybe Isaiah Hunter, the transfer from Cal, is that we just don't know yet. I'm in wait and see mode on that. I don't think Dane Key, the transfer from Kentucky, is that true burner down the field. I see more Jamal Banks in him, maybe a little quicker. But Ja'Cory Barney, not really a downfield threat, right? He's short and intermediate, even though Nebraska tried to get him the ball deep. And then down the roster, we don't know exactly what those young guys are as well. So I think that there is a hole on the roster, a gap in the roster, especially on the offensive side now, with the departure of Jalen Lloyd, right? Maybe the offensive line wasn't perfect, but I thought it was good enough that there would have been a role for Jalen Lloyd, right? I would have liked to seen him maybe a little bit more involved on some of those shot plays, because, yeah, he's a 3-star athlete when you look at football recruiting services. But Strick, that is a 5-star world-class track athlete, right? His mother ran track at Nebraska, did some really great things. Jalen Lloyd was playing football and running track as well. And I'm really curious to see how this transfer portal recruitment goes for Jalen Lloyd, because obviously he's in the football transfer portal, which tells you his mind is probably, on football. But I do wonder if there's a part of Jalen Lloyd that would rather go into track. Sure, the money's going to be better in football, but he's just such a natural track athlete. So the fact that he was able to have as much success on the football field as he did, while still really learning how to be a receiver, and without having really a true, perfectly qualified wide receivers coach coaching him, I think the future is bright for Jalen Lloyd in football. I think that if some team picks him up, they're going to have an instant walking big play. Let's not forget his freshman year, 3 touchdowns of 50 yards or more. The only other receiver in the Big Ten to do that, Marvin Harrison Jr. He was doing some really great things on Sundays. And of course, maybe a little bigger body, smoother, more natural route runner than Jalen Lloyd. But he's a walking big play. I was kind of bummed we didn't see more of him. I was excited to see what a full year under Dana Holgorsen could do for Jalen Lloyd. Looks like he's going to be moving on, though, and I'm curious to see where he ends up.
Yeah. And I know, like I said, we're very short on time, so we're not going to overindulge on it. But we do wish him well. We do wish him well in the transfer portal. But let's get to some basketball stuff, man, because you happened to go to the game last night. I actually would like to hear your perspective being in the gym as opposed to me being on the outside looking in this particular game. What was your initial assessment on what you saw? Obviously, it was a blowout by far, and we can dig into the details of that. But ultimately, what did you see coming off of a break, getting into this game, coming home against a SWAC competitor, actually the leading team right now in the SWAC, being Southern.
Yeah, Strick, I was first of all impressed by the crowd, right? Late game on Monday, right before the new year. I wasn't exactly sure how the crowd was going to be. It was a crowd that was in mid-season form. I was really impressed by Husker fans showing up. It was loud from the jump. And there was a lot of factors, Strick, that I think Nebraska teams would have let get in the way of a fast start before. The travel from Hawaii, still getting the sea legs back or the land legs back, coming off a tournament championship, something Nebraska hasn't done since 2000. There were a lot of factors that other Nebraska teams probably don't handle as well. But Nebraska came out, hit a three to start the game, gave up a backdoor layup on the miscommunication, and then we're really off to the races. Got up, I think, 12-2 pretty early on, doing it with the long-range shooting. They looked inside pretty well. It felt kind of like the start Nebraska had against Indiana, except it didn't stop, right? It was a fantastic first half for Nebraska. They outscore Southern 39-15. In that first half, Nebraska is 12 of 26 from the floor. And Stricky, all 12 of those made baskets in the first half were assisted. That is a great sign for Nebraska. Also, only 4 turnovers in the first half. So a pretty much flawless first half from the Huskers. They extend the lead into the second half. And then, Strick, there's a reason Fred Hoiberg sounded a little let down, a little disappointed, was because the rotation guys kind of let it slip. 10 turnovers in the second half. A couple of them led to dunks from Southern. They got a little lazy. They got a little sloppy. They stopped moving the ball like they had been. Not that Nebraska was in any danger by any means, but the final score was as good as it was, a 34-point margin for the Huskers, because the reserves came in and made some noise late. I mean, Sam Hoiberg had some steals and deflections. You saw Gavin Griffith, Strick, in the game for the first time in 3.5 weeks. His last game action was against Michigan State. Gavin Griffiths comes out in garbage time, hits 2 threes, and hits a layup as well. There was good effort. There was good energy. There was good intensity from that closing group to really help boost that final margin up. And that's where my question for you is, are you worried about Nebraska's lack of a killer instinct, right? That they could have won this game by 40 had they prevented some turnovers, but instead it gets down to about 22, 24 points of a lead before the reserves clean it up. Are you worried about the killer instinct? You give them a pass because of the circumstances on Christmas break coming back from Hawaii. Where are you at with that for Nebraska?
Definitely the turnover issue is a problem, but this is what this team does. They've done a good job throughout their season turning people over. That's one of their strengths. Where their weaknesses were is definitely at the free throw line. I mean, they got there just as many times as Nebraska, even though Nebraska shot pretty bad. I mean, you definitely want to be over 70 something if you're getting to the free throw line, and especially for critical moments. But to shoot 38% from the free throw line is horrid.
Yeah.
12% from 3 and 25%. So there's 2 things about that. And that's why I asked the question, because what did you see as far as the defensive intensity? Because either they just were horrid in their shooting, and and we talk about shooting mechanics all the time when you and I get together, and because you're the resident shooting coach. But
right there on the hat. Right there on the hat.
Right. So, that part. But the part I think I'm most worried about is, like you said, that lack of a killer instinct, because a team shooting that bad, but yet they get 17 offensive rebounds. That's not a good look. That's something you want to be worried about a little bit. You want to have some discussions about, and you've got to be able to minimize that, because a team that does that and they just shoot moderately, they're more in the game and have a chance of possibly beating you if they're able to attack the rim and get that many more opportunities, just because they're missing shots and they're attacking the glass.
Oh, absolutely. Of Southern's 43 points, 20 of them came off of second chances and off of turnovers, right? 12 off second chances, 8 off of Nebraska's 14 turnovers. The defensive intensity was there, Strick. I really liked what I saw from Nebraska. Southern moved quite a bit. They weren't just stagnant playing iso ball. They ran some actions with multiple layers to it. Nebraska did a good job of passing it off, of switching, of communicating. I thought the bigs did a really good job hedging and recovering as well. I mean, Nebraska wasn't switching its centers out on the perimeter because Southern was a small team. They were certainly doing their best to hunt mismatches. Southern's first basket of the game came on a botched communication. 2 guys had different ideas that led to a little layup for Southern. So that's something I was tracking throughout the game, how do Nebraska's defensive rotations look? And after that first bucket, Strick, they were good. They were on point. They did a great job communicating. They moved their feet, pretty good closeouts, all things considered. Forced Southern into a lot of contested looks. Not the prettiest shooting forums, but you could tell Nebraska's length really bothered Southern, which is why, to your point on the other end, Southern, as the smaller team, getting 17 offensive rebounds, that was a little bit concerning to me, Strick, because I think that was just a focus thing. A couple long rebounds here and there. Of the 17, I would say 4 or 5 of them were just bricks off the rim or off the backboard that just went to a Southern guy hot off the backboard or the rim that Nebraska didn't have any chance on. But a fair number of those, Strick, were too many guys chasing blocked shots. Nebraska doesn't block a whole lot of shots despite being a pretty long, lengthy team. But I think they saw, those pitches when you're playing baseball, they're coming in right down the middle. You can't help yourself. You got to swing at it, but it's coming in at 88 instead of at 93. So if you're early on it, looks like Nebraska's eyes, just to me, got a little bit too big, right? Too many guys were hunting blocked shots. So the ball would just kind of fall in the middle of the lane with 3 guys still up in the air, one with his back turned and one out on the perimeter. And that was probably another 5, 6, maybe 7 offensive rebounds that Southern got.
Well, there it is. I mean, I know I'm going to let you pave the way for us to get into our EAS.
Let's do it. We're out of here in about 30 seconds. Let's set up the rest of the show. When we get back, we got a fun segment for you. MVPs for Nebraska football. We'll start with the defense, then we'll move into the offense. We're going to want your thoughts. 402-464-5685. Who is your defensive MVP for Nebraska football? Who is your offensive MVP for Nebraska football? Hit us up, 402-464-5685. Once we get some suggestions and some thoughts, we'll also throw up a Twitter poll. Find us on Twitter at OnTheBlock937. We'll get that up here in just a little bit. Top of the 3 o'clock hour, we will go through the college football playoff quarterfinals. They start tonight in the desert, and then our best sports moments of 2025. Don't go anywhere. He's Strick. I'm Austin. You're listening to On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Looking to upgrade your equipment? Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer in Nebraska and northern Kansas, has an offer you don't want to miss. Through December, purchase a model year 2022, 23, or 24 tractor, combine, or sprayer, and take advantage of financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months. That's right. Get the equipment you need with affordable payments designed to keep your operation running strong. Stop by your local Landmark Implement today or visit landmarkimp.com to learn more. Experience the Landmark difference.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys. You'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day, but it will be breezy. We'll see a high around 32. Tonight, a chance of 4 rays, otherwise partly cloudy with light winds, and a low near 22. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds and a high around 36. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog? A cat? Or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Interesting results in bowl games. We'll get to that when we get to our college football playoff preview coming up at 3 o'clock. But we're diving into a Husker football year in review series here this week. Continuing on with our MVPs on either side of the ball. I don't feel comfortable awarding a special teams MVP necessarily. Stricky, Bushini, and Hull were both good, and we've had those conversations before, so we will just award offensive and defensive MVPs. Let's start with the black shirts. Let's start on that side of the ball. Just give me the 3 or 4 best players on the Husker defense, in your opinion, before you reveal your MVP.
It's really tough. It's really tough out there. I definitely am going to go Ty as one. Then I would like to probably go with Deshaun Singleton. And man, I wish I could have said one of those rush in type of guys, but I really can't right now. That's the part that I think is throwing me for a little bit of the loop. So at this point, I may go with maybe Isaac. I mean, not Isaac Gift, but Josh Bullock.
Okay. Fair enough. I think that's probably where I land as well. I would say Ty Robinson's going to get a lot of consideration from people John Bullock, I think, absolutely is in that conversation. And then, Strick, I think that the third option for me comes down to, is it Isaac Gifford or is it Sierra Wright? I know that's kind of an off-the-wall inclusion potentially, but think about Sierra Wright, where he came from, right? USC, late transfer portal edition in the spring, stepped up behind Tommy Hill, right? We had the Malcolm Hartzog, Marquise Buford combination at one cornerback spot. Tommy Hill goes down with the plantar fascia injury, not playing his best, playing hurt. Sierra Wright steps into the lineup as a name that we knew, but a player that we didn't know. He stepped into the lineup. I think he filled Tommy Hill's shoes pretty darn capably and set himself up for a big year in 2025. So at the end of the day, Stricky, of those players you mentioned, who do you give the defensive MVP nod to?
You know what? I've got to give credit because for the most part throughout this season, he led the charge on what was a pretty stout defensive line, especially in holding the run game. I think they played well enough up front to have won more games. Yes, they had a few breakdowns. Definitely Indiana was one of those, but that happens. And I've got to go with Ty, man. I think that he led an inspired group on really solidifying things on that internal defensive line. And I've got to give him credit for that, man. I definitely feel that he was part of that surge. And even after the distractions and, the loss of the defensive coordinator and Coach White, that he still, stayed forth and showed leader form and helping to establish that culture there, especially on the defense.
You're just saying that because you like Ty Robinson at fullback.
I do like that. I remember the old refrigerator, man. I remember he reminded me of the old refrigerator. And listen, he was out there headhunting too, and I love that about. And I'm looking at it like, who's going to be that guy next year? Like that. That's the way I'm really looking at it. Like, who's going to be that guy? Because that's a selfless thing. It's an inspiring thing, and you hope it inspires guys not just on the offensive side like that with their defensive play, but also with their maybe opportunities to play in special teams and really make that thing great. So we'll see, because those are selfless acts, and I like that.
They absolutely are. On the text line, we have John in Cortland saying his defensive MVP is Nash Hutmacher. He would say they are co-defensive players of the year. We didn't really mention one without mentioning the other all year long, right? It seems like we talked about Ty and Nash and Ty instead of just one of them. But Strick, I think it's pretty clear that Ty Robinson had the better year. If you're not the best player in your room, if you're not the best player in your position group, you probably can't be the MVP, right? Now that Nash Hutmacher was bad by any means, Ty Robinson was just a little bit better across the board, right? Whether you look at the counting stats, the rate stats, whatever it was, I think you give it to number 9 over number 0. And Strick, I'm not going to lie, I was looking for a way to give this award to John Bullock. That's the guy that I thought really stabilized things at the linebacker position. There were some up and downs from that position, right? Stephon Thompson didn't do a whole lot. Mekhi Bayer didn't live up to the promise from last year. Vincent Shavers was kind of in and out of the rotation, didn't make a big splash until his performance in the bowl game. I was looking for a way to give John Bullock credit, right? Pick 6 against Purdue, 10 tackles for loss, 4 sacks on the year. Some really big plays on 4th downs as well. A lot of those tackles for loss are right at the line of scrimmage. I thought John Bullock, again, had his best year as a Cornhusker, did a lot of good things for that linebacker position. And the other reason I was leaning that way initially is because this is what Ty Robinson was supposed to be to a lot of Husker fans a couple years ago. You don't want to knock the guy for getting there and getting the counting stats he did, but he played 6 years, right? If this would have been Ty Robinson as a junior, that's almost assuredly a first-round draft pick. As a senior, that's a day 1, maybe a day 2 draft pick. And sure, Ty Robinson probably played himself into consideration, not first round, but day 2 at the best, probably early day.
Yeah, I think probably if he runs well, you're looking at maybe 4th, 5th round. Yeah,
right. And he can plug and play and help a team immediately since he found this level. But it's just so hard for me to not wonder what could have been for Ty Robinson. Where was this a couple years ago? But regardless, the light finally clicked almost fully, probably fully, right? This is who Ty Robinson was promised to be. He delivered on it. And the counting stats are just hard to argue, Strick. You don't just look at the 37 tackles. You look at 13 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, one of the best guys at pressuring the quarterback, among the most pressures and hurries in the country. Bunch of passes defended. I think he even got his hand on a field goal or two earlier in the year. And then, of course, the contributions at fullback. I wanted to give it to John Bullock, Strick. I really did. But I don't think there's another answer besides Ty Robinson for the Nebraska defensive MVP. So we're agreed.
I don't give you what I would normally give you. I'm not gonna do you like what's his name? Dave Chappelle does to the people on the Dave Chappelle show. I give you 2 thumbs up on that one. Yeah, good call.
I did it. Ending 2024 on a strong note. So we will put our first Twitter poll of the afternoon up at On The Block 937 on Twitter. Who was Nebraska football's defensive MVP? We'll give you one guy at each level: Ty Robinson, John Bullock, Isaac Gifford. If you disagree with those, there's a 4th option. You can leave a comment. Let us know who you think. Again, at On The Block 937.
Or on the stream. If you're on the stream, if you're on the YouTube stream, and let us know. Let us know who you thought it was. And if it wasn't somebody that we named and you think it's somebody else, shout us out and we can maybe discuss it in one of our segments.
That we can. Let's switch sides of the ball, Stricky. Over to the offense. Who are the 3 or 4 best offensive players in your mind for Nebraska football this year?
Again, it was so much inconsistency there, Austin, that it's tough. It's crazy how that sounds, but it really is tough. But no doubt about it, you got to have Dylan Raiola in the mix of that. So I would say him. And I then also I'm gonna go him. I'm gonna go Emmett Johnson just because of how he fought through, continued to fight. And I can tell you that I knew he was fighting by some of the runs that he had when he came in as a substitute and how hard he ran and just his shiftiness, his ability to make that first guy miss, get you about 4 yards that probably shouldn't have been 4 or 5 yards. And how he emerged as a threat out of the backfield. A lot of that late shows me progression there. So I definitely want to give him credit for that. I'm gonna go off on a tangent and give you a 3A and 3B. And I'm gonna say Ben Scott, 1. And then I'm going to say I'm gonna say Luke Lindemeyer.
Ooh. Okay. Talk to me.
Yeah. I listen, there were a lot of unsuspected things. You knew that they did well in blocking. We knew that they were better at setting edges than probably Fedoni. But then make some great catches out of the backfield, out of the tight ends position, whenever it was presented to them. And they were just unsung heroes. I want to give credit to the line because and who led in there. And I saw the feistiness of him in the bowl game, of how he wasn't taking no crap and he was handling things up front. And that's why I want to give credit to the line and Ben Scott. So I'm going to go Dylan Raiola, Ben Scott, and then Emmett Johnson. Ben Scott, Lindemeyer, and then Emmett Johnson.
I like it. We have a text from Big Daddy Travis who says, Bryce Benhart. What do you think about Bryce Benhart? I mean, that's a guy that played 60 games in his Husker career, started 54 of them. And I think
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Yeah, shout out to Bryce, man. I mean, again, he had a roller coaster of a career here as well, but I can tell you this was probably his best showing of his year. I think you saw some progression last year, but I think this was definitely an upswing. I have no problem with that. I definitely wanted to give credit to the line, and for me, it was Ben.
Yeah, I like where you're thinking because, I mean, Ben Scott, the man in the middle, did some good things in his couple of years coming over from Arizona. Maybe a few too many penalties for an upperclassman, but didn't have snapping problems. Did a good job of, I think, getting the line organized. I like that. Bryce Benhart continued to improve. Justin Evans was fine at guard. Didn't hear a lot from him. Gunnar Gatula, I think, did a good job as when he was called upon as a midseason replacement for some injuries and some line shuffling. But the lineman we talked the least about, Strick, Henry Lutovsky.
I was about to say that. That's why you my guy. Going into the new year, it's
there.
a subliminal connection. That's one of the ones that I'm really interested in seeing going forward. You're right. I think he deserves some credit too. Shout out to him.
They deserve credit, and typically when we talk about offensive linemen, it's for the wrong reasons, right? They're either a stud tackle or they're doing something wrong. We didn't talk about Henry Lutovsky. He did a great job this year of doing his job, of being in the right position. I'm impressed with him, curious to see how he looks in 2025. Stricky, who was the best receiver for Nebraska this year? Best wide receiver? Who do you think?
I would say the one that probably made more plays. I just still think that it was lackluster in the effort department. I think early on, especially in the blocking department, it was bad. But I can tell you who did take some onus on it a little bit as it got late, and this is where I'll give him credit. I'll say Jamal Banks.
I like it. Jamal Banks on the year for Nebraska. Ends the year with, he had 44 catches, 587 yards, and 3 touchdowns. If you go by receptions, Jamal Banks had the second most. He did have the most yards and then the second most touchdowns for the Huskers as well. He did get better as the year went on. He did, and that's a credit to him. We would have liked to have seen that consistency all year. But again, hey, he got better. He made some big plays for Nebraska. Maybe a few more drops than we were led to believe he would have had after a year with none of them. But Jamal Banks was pretty consistent all year long in terms of his hands in the receiving game. He was a darn good player from Nebraska. Of the transfers, I think he worked out the best on the offense this year. But Stricky, my pick for best receiver and Nebraska's offensive MVP, Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's going overboard, and I want your thoughts on it here in just a second. But think about Ja'Cory Barney Jr., right? He led Nebraska in catches, had the most catches on the team. He had 55 of them for 447 yards, didn't catch a touchdown, but did have 10 rushes for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns as well. It's a guy that wasn't even supposed to play coming into the year, right? He was going to be a depth option, but Demetrius Bell gets hurt in the spring game. So here comes a little number 17 from Miami, Ja'Cory Barney Jr., and he was pretty darn consistent all year long. Never had a huge game where he took over, but Strick, you could see that Nebraska trusted him, whether it was Marcus Satterfield, Dana Holgerson, or especially his roommate Dylan Raiola, because they would go to him in key moments. They need a big play. Offense is in a rut. They need a spark. Ja'Cory Barney Jr. was the guy. It's hard to argue against Dylan Raiola with the freshman passing record. He's the quarterback straw that stirs the drink, and maybe the process was better than the results at some time. But relative to expectations, I think Ja'Cory Barney exceeded pretty much everyone's expectations for what they thought coming into the year. He proved he could be a big play guy. They used him in a number of ways. I was really impressed by Ja'Cory Barney Jr., and I think from game 1 to game 13, he was the best, most consistent performer out of the skill positions.
I can't fight you on that. I have nothing to negate what you said. I think it's good. It's solid. I agree. I think he's got tremendous upside. Again, I think getting him in that weight room and getting him a little bit more physical, being able to use some of that physicality and getting off. Yes, I like him in the slot, but I definitely would like to see how he performs on the outside with a little more opportunities for being touched, especially with some jamming. And I think if he does that, he'll be fine. I think he's shifty enough. I think he's a good enough route runner. I think he has good footwork. I think he'll only improve, and I think he wants to be there. I think he wants to continue to solidify that relationship, not just by way of roommates, but by way of similar to what Tom Brady used to have with Julian Edelman. When you look at these type of relationships where when it's time where I'm going, but here's the difference, Austin. You know where I'm going, but you can't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter unless you're over the top, which then is going to open up more opportunities for other guys. Mm-hmm. So you want that. But even still, somebody who has the capabilities of making plays happen And we've seen them all over. Look at the young fella at Alabama. Is it Smith?
Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And then Smith, the freshman out at Oklahoma. Like, listen, those are guys that they're going to make plays regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how you're covering them, how you're guarding them, how you're scheming them. They're making plays, and they have high target, high reception rates. And so those are the things you hope that they can establish that, really, being that they're not only roommates, but they're also in the same year together. They grow together and they're able to establish that thing and become that.
The Nebraska connection that I think of is Tommy Armstrong to Jordan Westerkamp. Different players, right? Tommy and Dylan are different. Westerkamp and Barney are certainly different players, but that level of connection, that level of, hey, in those big moments, where's my guy? What's the play to get him open? That's where we're going with it. I think that's the ceiling for these two. I really think that's the comparison moving forward.
Westerkamp's got to have one of the top 20 catches of all time. The one he caught behind his back.
Yeah.
If not top 10. That's 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 one of the greatest of all. There's a lot of great ones, but that has to be up there. But yeah, we're hoping that it does establish here, and it starts in this offseason coming up.
So just to make sure that we're clear, who is your final pick for Nebraska football's offensive MVP?
It's going to be Dylan Raiola.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So you go Ty on defense and Dylan on offense. I will go Ty on defense, but I will give the nod to Ja'Cory Barney Jr. on offense. Second Twitter poll is officially up for you at On the Block 937. Go vote in that poll. We've got a handful of votes in. Unanimous for Ty Robinson so far, but we will keep taking your thoughts here throughout the end of the hour. Nebraska football's offensive MVP and Nebraska football's defensive MVP. When we get back, $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings to give away for the first time this week. Last time of the year. We're doing it. Just the tiebreaker question. Strick will give a number. You will go over, under, or push his number on the text line. Don't go anywhere. We get $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings in your hands when we come back.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys, you'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
We are not playing the full game. We're taking it easy on Stricky since he's on the road. But next week, we will start off 2025 right.
I was doing my Doc Holliday imitation.
You nailed it. Pew, pew, pew. Ha ha. I'm out.
I wish I could talk like the good old Doc Holliday, but I don't have that type of voice. I don't even have the Clint Eastwood voice. You remember how you don't remember also but the old heads, the old block heads that be listening, the ones that's older than me, because I'm 35. But the old block heads, y'all remember the old shoot 'em up, bang bang, cowboy shows? Yeah.
Is that your jam? Is that your vibe?
Yeah, man. They don't have them like they used to, man. You got to go watch them on the old school channels and catch them every now. There's two types of shows I used to watch when I was a kid. It was those old cowboy shows that I used to watch all the time. And y'all remember good old Zorro? Yeah. Used to watch Zorro. But then the other one that I really watched, it was the cowboy ones. And there was another one. There's another type. Oh, the old school karate joints where they used to be like, they used to talk to me like, I'm going to kill you now. And then they would be mouthing, but it would be English coming out. Oh, those were the greatest ones, the old karate movies. And they would be like, yeah. Those were the ones I used to like. Stricky, old school.
Do you have a karate belt?
I tried it for a little bit. I did go and take a couple. I think I got up to a yellow belt, and then it was just too much for me. I think I already had discipline. it's one of those things that you really go and just learn discipline, flexibility, a lot of things like that, defense. But yeah, it was one of the ones I couldn't stick with.
I feel like karate is more for skinny dudes like me who want to pretend to have a chance to defend themselves, unlike rocked up dudes with you who are actually tough. You know?
Yeah, I get it. That's why I wrestle. I think that's why I wrestle. A little more grappling. I probably would have been better at judo. That probably been the one. That probably been the one for me, judo. You know, where you can still do an art of it. Yeah, and not the fake Steven Seagal ones. You know,
no, you're hitting fools. Fools gonna feel you in the morning, Stricky. They feel you in the morning. I tell you.
Yeah, man. What we got going? Man, talk to me, man. Let's give away some Strick in.
Let's do it. The question. We have the tiebreaker question for Shootout with Strick. How many gold medals did Team USA win during the Paris Olympics? How about that? 2024 year in review. How many gold medals did Team USA win during the Paris Olympics?
Gold medals, not medals.
Medals. Not medals, not total. Gold.
47.
Stricky says 47. Let's give the stricken away to texter number 5, the root of 25, the year we're headed into. Texter number 5, over, under, or push Stricky's answer of 47 gold medals will win the stricken. Couple texts to get to.
Can I change that?
Nope, too late. Too late. We already got responses rolling in. So a couple texts before we get to the answer. Cubsker says, you're not going to reference the Hail Mary catch for the Westerkamp mention.
Oh, no question.
Good one, right? That's season's all-time legend for the behind-the-back catch and as a freshman catching the Hail Mary against Northwestern. 2 all-time Nebraska moments, Stricky.
Yeah. That was, you just seen their face on that one. Golly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cubsker also says, Ernest Hausman killed it in key moments for Michigan down the stretch against Bama. Oh, we will get to that. We will get to that leading off the top of the next hour. Okay, let's scroll down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, 53.91 is the winner. The answer is under, but not by much. Stricky, you said 47 gold medals. What were you going to change your answer to?
42.
That would have been the number of bronze medals Team USA won. The number of gold medals, an even 40. 40 gold for Team USA.
I was in the rain. Okay.
Off by a tutty. Off by a
tutty.
Not
at least
bad,
we
though.
got to win by less than a tutty. We used to struggle in that department. At least we were able to pull one. No, real question. Question for you blockheads and for you real quick before we go to the second hour. At any point in time during that game, did you have that thought you used to have last year when that situation would happen? Did you have that, here we go again thought?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I did. And it happened after Boston College scored that second touchdown of the fourth quarter to draw within 20-15. Because then, Strick, there's like 4 minutes and I want to say 14 seconds, 4 minutes, 11 seconds left. And Nebraska had been moving the ball okay. But again, the offense was stuck in a rut, right? Hadn't moved the ball. I didn't think Nebraska was going to score again. I didn't, right? I didn't think they were going to bust a long play for a touchdown, take the kickoff back, anything like that. I wasn't sure Nebraska had a 4-minute drill in it. It was hairy a couple times, right? The slide, the Dylan Raiola gets rocked on, the slide, he ends up short. 4th and 1 for the game. I wasn't sure if Nebraska was going to punt, try a long field goal, or go for it. I was glad to see Nebraska go for it, salt the game away. But that might be, the first step in the right direction for this program, because despite letting it get hairy, making the game interesting when it wasn't, they found a way to win. They made the plays they needed to at the end of the game, and that's absolutely something to build off of next year. Did you feel like, oh, here we go again?
I didn't get it. I didn't get that. I didn't get that. But I would say there was concern. There was concern by what you just said in the last part of your explanation, as you didn't know that they had a 4-minute drill in them, because I, like you, felt that they weren't going to score again. So how were they going to manage this? What was Holgerson going to do? Who they were going to go to? Then Dylan makes those. I'm like, oh. But I too was glad that they went for it. So so I think we felt the same way, but I just didn't get to that point where I was like, oh, like what's that meme on Grand Theft Auto? Oh
shoot, here we go again.
I didn't get that far.
You are a braver, wiser man than I. And I think a lot of Husker fans, we have Gino saying, I took a walk for the last 4.5 minutes of the game. Couldn't even watch it because I couldn't see it come off the rails again. Cubsker says, Stricky, after the punt got blocked, I pulled my work vehicle over, put my hands on my face, screaming, please don't do this to me again. Husker fans are still scarred, partner. They're still feeling it.
Oh, yeah. And so that's the thing. How much of that after this year are you going to feel? Was that an overcomer for you, or do you still have a remnant of that? I would love to know what y'all think. 402-464-5685. Have you gotten over that part of it, or do you still kind of have it, just kind of an inkling of it, just deep down in your heart? Love to know.
Answer that question from Stricky, whether you're on the text line or on stream. If you have some responses, we'll dive into that. If not, that is definitely a segment for another time. What does that look like for the Huskers? If we're moving on to some bowl game reaction from today. Bama in Michigan in the ReliaQuest Outback Bowl in the college football playoff quarterfinals. What you got, Stricky?
One thing at 3:25, we've got a big segment coming up. Stay tuned. Best sports moment in 2025. We may even take a call. So get your phones ready. Get your rotary phone, because it's going to take some time. So you may not get in. So if you got to spin it, get ready. 402-464-5685. We're going to open up the Allo VIP line and maybe take a couple.
Lincoln Hotline.
I'm sorry. That's right. There's a difference. Honda Lincoln Hotline, and we may take a couple of y'all thoughts on what you thought was the best sports moment of 2025.
At 3:25. That's the plan. Stick with us. Last hour of On the Block for the year comes your way in just a moment.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orbit, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
It's not surprising that y'all want to end the year talking some Husker football. We will do that this segment, get into some bowl game reaction and more here in the first segment of the show. Before, as Stricky said, the best sports moments of the year, 2024, coming up at 3:25. I'm Austin. He's Strick. Big thank you to NEPCO for their sponsorship of On the Block. It has been a great year with NEPCO as the title sponsor of our show. A lot of great stuff going on at NEPCO. Their operations span the state of Nebraska and supply the construction industry with the materials needed to construct buildings, streets, and highways. NEPCO's been in business since 1908. That's going to be 170 years. Next year. 170 years. That's like 4 or 5 times Stricky's age. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, because I'm a young man. Yeah, I'm just fresh out of college, man. I just graduated about 3 years ago. So, you know, it's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yet you're wise beyond your years. It's pretty impressive.
I went into a time gap and then, you know, just kind of accelerated about 10 years. So, you know, that's all. You know, those time capsules, they just, one Stricky happened to fell into a multiverse and came out 10 years later at 35. You know what I'm saying?
There it is. Just that simple. Just that simple. NEPCO is a 4th-generation family-owned and operated business with over 1,200 employees and 26 companies throughout Nebraska. A couple things to get to here, Strick, before we answer your question from people on the text line. How about this? West Virginia men's basketball goes in to Allen Fieldhouse and wins in Lawrence, Kansas for the first time in program history. West Virginia 62, Kansas 61. But here's the thing, Stricky. West Virginia was down its top 2 scorers due to injury. Oh, and by the way, West Virginia's plane was supposed to leave at 4 p.m. yesterday, but it blew out its tires on its landing. They didn't leave till after midnight, and then they had to fly another plane to Morgantown from Miami. West Virginia didn't get to its team hotel until after 2 o'clock this morning, had a 1 p.m. Central Time tip-off, and they still go in, and for the first time in school history, they knock off Kansas. How about that, man?
That's what I'm talking about. That goes to show you the mentality. They listen, shout out to them, coaching staff, all of them, figuring out how to not only get those guys good rest, allow them to get their rest, get them their meal, try to keep them on schedule as much as possible so it doesn't throw. So that's a navigation. Those type of adversities are wild. It happens though, but I've had it happen to us. You know what I mean? But not to the tune of that, but being in the NBA, that's many a night. That's preparation. That's great learning ground right there. That's what it's going to look like. You're going to get in at that type of time, and you might have a back-to-back with that type of game. And well, see, the soft NBA, they don't really do a lot of back. Oh, we can't play back-to-back. We need load management.
It's funny that you bring that up because you conveniently didn't reply to something I tweeted at you last night. So the NBA softer doesn't play defense. Your T-Birds gave up 104 last night, Stricky. Where are you calling them up for their
It was a triple overtime game, my boy.
That's still 104.
That's a triple overtime game. I should have went. I should have watched that game. I should have watched that game, man. But I think you can get it on that NH whatever site. Whatever. But yeah, I got to get down and watch these T-Birds. They're young though, man. The T-Birds are young this year. They only got one senior, so they're going to take their lumps and their Willie lumps, and they're going to learn. And I think they're going to be all right.
Who's not going to be all right? Alabama fans and Paul Feinbaum. Stricky, Michigan, 16.5-point dogs. Get up 16-0 on Alabama. They end up winning the ReliaQuest Bowl, the old Outback Bowl, 19-13. Michigan beats USC, Ohio State, and Alabama all in the same year, in the same season. The most passing yards Michigan had in one of these games was 75. Think back, Strick, January 1st of 2024, Michigan over Alabama in the college football playoff semifinals. December 31st, it's Michigan over Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl. And hey, Michigan also beat Kalen DeBoer for the second time this year. Michigan over Washington in the national championship. Michigan over Alabama today. Tough day to be an Alabama stan. Great day to be a victor for Michigan.
I got to give them credit. Everybody and their mama thought that they were going to be down. All that does is shows to those incoming recruits. It shows that there's life, there's blood there, there's pieces that need to be added on to that puzzle. And once they get that locked in, they may be all right, man. Shout out to them and the whole staff and just all the adversity and all of the craziness that has been going on with the Harbaugh situation. And they were able to overcome it, finish it off strong. Shout out to Michigan, the Wolverines. Shout out.
Cubsker says it wasn't high scoring because I took the over of 45.5. Well, here's the thing, Cubsker. It was pouring rain up until basically halftime. Strick, Alabama had a stretch of 3 turnovers in a span of 4 plays. Interception, fumble. That helps Michigan build that 16-0 lead. I really thought that Michigan, if they punch in a touchdown to make it 20-0, maybe that game's a romp. But if they only get a field goal, Alabama at least makes it respectable at the end. But Strick, this is why we can have this discussion and more in depth. But I think, we talked about it a little bit. It's not about the hypothetical games. Think about how many hypothetical games Alabama won. Oh, Alabama beats SMU. Alabama beats Clemson. Alabama beats Notre Dame. Alabama beats Penn State. Why aren't they in the playoff? Well, guess what? Bama lost as double-digit favorites to 6-6 Vandy, to 6-6 Oklahoma, and to 7-5 Michigan. Spare me that crap. They lost. Have a fun offseason in Tuscaloosa.
And Stay tuned with us as we get into the new year and we finish up the bowl season, because we're going to look at the collective of the bowl season and talk about the conference matchups and who did what. Is the SEC who the SEC they say they are? Or are they, the F word, fraudulent? Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Trust and believe. Right here on the block. We're going to talk about it. Mm-hmm.
We
that part. I might be
Beautiful.
smoking a cigar talking about it. Cigars! Shout out to you.
They're missing you, Stricky. They put out a missing persons report for you. They don't know where you're at.
Stricky, they're going to see Stricky real soon in the new year.
We'll tell
We're
them
going to start off the new year right. Cigars Lounge down there in the Haymarket. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
I love that. Husker fans were popping off from your question here, Stricky. We'll start with Cubsker. I think to answer your question, it'll definitely depend on game situation, but watching Nebraska close it out was definitely a weight lifted off of Husker fans and the program's back after 5 years. But I'm sure in the future there will be situations that will give you those PTSD flashbacks, but hopefully they will be few and far between. 7938 says, they broke my heart too many times to redeem themselves after one close victory. Gino says, definitely going to have PTSD for a while. Old Dad 34. We are burned into our souls for how it went down over the last 10 years. Is that about what you expected from Husker fans?
I can't fault them. I can't fault them. It's going to be a tough thing, but I think that's a stepping stone to the overcoming and to the confidence. The young players, they get to see that. They get to learn, even if they didn't learn on field, they get to learn what it means to get the big stop, make a big play, make a big block, do something. I need to get open here. Anything like that. They get to learn those type of things, even if they didn't get to learn it under fire. So I really do believe that it's no different than in a basketball game that you learn to win those close games. And it just builds confidence in you. So if you're down by a certain amount of points and there's a certain amount of time, you learn, even if you're down big, you learn how to chip away at it. One of the things they say is the way that you eat an elephant is how? Piece by piece. You learn how to break down the game, break it down into timeout to the next timeout. We want to cut into this lead by 6. You learn all of those different things. You learn how to push leads, how to hold leads, how to stop runs. Those things you learn in those situations. So I think it's a learning opportunity for them to grow off of. And we're not there yet, but I think we're there. That's a good start.
It is a start, right? It can't be, oh yeah, this team has made it. This program has arrived. Everything is magically fixed, because it's not, right? You still lost 6 games. You won 7. You found a way to win the game. Strick, to me, the most important part of how that game went down is that it wasn't luck, right? How many times have you heard Husker fans say, oh, we didn't get the bounce. Oh, we didn't get the calls. It didn't go our way. We're cursed. We're unlucky. Well, guess what? Nebraska did it to itself in giving away the 20-2 lead, right? Bad punt. Boston College takes over. You see the turnovers. You see the blocked punt as well, right? Nebraska did that to itself. That wasn't a bad break. That wasn't someone balling out and having the game of their life. It wasn't a lucky miracle catch. It was Nebraska stopped playing good football. But then how did Nebraska win the game? Not by getting a lucky catch, not by being the beneficiary of a bad spot by the official that didn't get overturned, not by a cheap, subjective penalty call. Nebraska didn't close that game out with luck. Nebraska closed that game out with, we have 4 minutes and 11 seconds left on the game clock. Boston College cannot be allowed to touch this ball again. We're going to make smart decisions. We're going to make simple plays. We are going to play football the way that we have been coached to play the game. And guess what they did? They held the ball for the last 4-11. That's what they did.
No penalties. No penalties. Look at what Colorado did, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All those doggone penalties, false starts, legal motion, all these different, they didn't have. And look, don't get it twisted, Austin. Nebraska's done that. You go look at some of their early situations, some of their early games, like against Illinois, they would be, 3rd and 3, end up with a 3rd and 8 because of a dumb procedural penalty. They didn't do that. And that's learned. That's growth.
And that's why I think that this is a game, an opportunity, and a situation that has the ability to carry over into next year. No, it's not the exact same team. And yes, the two guys that really helped make that fourth down conversion are gone, right? Ty Robinson with one of the key blocks. Ramir Johnson keeps the legs churning. And with that carry, gets himself to 1,000 yards for his Husker career. But you think about Henry Lutovsky at right guard. They run behind him and behind Bryce Benhart. You think about Dylan Raiola. There's a lesson there in the slide, right? Dylan Raiola can say, hey, my teammates picked me up. I know how to be better to not put them in that position next year. If it would have been, like a deflected pass that ends up in Nebraska's hands or a subjective penalty, then it's, oh, Nebraska got away with one, right? You're not going to say, oh, the refs won the game for us. Boston College would have every opportunity to do that, but they'd be wrong because they had, 58 other minutes of football to win the game. But I'm glad for Nebraska's sake it wasn't a lucky bounce or a subjective call that won the game. They had to go out there and earn it, and they proved to themselves that, hey, they are capable of going out there playing good football situationally, and that's the confidence boost I think this team can carry forward into next year.
Agreed. I think that's well said, well spoken. I think you and I are both on the same page of that. But there's some big games coming up, Austin. Mm-hmm. Playoff implications. Mm-hmm. There's word out there that there's really only 3 teams that can probably win this. Do you agree? I'll start there. Do you agree that there's really only 3 teams that have the opportunity of really winning this? And if you're listening to what I'm saying, who are those 3?
I would love to know who you think those 3 are, because I can think of 2 off the top of my head. I can think of Oregon and Ohio State. And those are the 2 teams I feel have the best chance to win. Let's just go down the field, Strick. You look at tonight's game. You get Penn State and Boise State at the Fiesta Bowl. Combined 10-0 record in the Fiesta Bowl for both of these teams, which is interesting. On the one hand, it's blue blood Penn State. Been a while since they've won a big, meaningful, important game. Is this their year to completely get over the hump, kick down the door, win a meaningful, important bowl game for the first time in a long time? Or is it Boise State behind the best or the second best player in college football this year in Ashton Genty? Are they deep enough? Are they talented enough across the board? I don't know, but they've handled their schedule. They're here. They deserve to be here. Either of those 2 teams, I'm not completely floored by Penn State winning the national championship, but they're not expected to, and it would be a great Cinderella run for Boise. Right underneath them in the bracket, Notre Dame, not explosive offensively, not the mold of a recent title contender, but they get a backup quarterback in Georgia, right? How do the Bulldogs look after some time off? Is it rest versus rust for them? And then Georgia, right? You're playing with Gunnar Stockton instead of Carson Beck. You've had some of those discipline off-field issues. Did those catch up to Georgia, who's looked more mortal this year than at really any point over the last couple of years? Georgia's still probably the most talented team in college football. They haven't always played like it. Top of the bracket, yeah, okay, Texas was in the college football playoff last year. That's a team that's been decimated by injuries, and whether it's true or whether it's contrived, there are quarterback questions. There's drama surrounding Quinn Ewers and the decisions around him. I like Texas's talent. Maybe they're just a little bit too injured. Arizona State, again, kind of like Boise State, one of the best players in the country. Can you trust them to win, whether that be 3 games in a row right now? They're the hottest team in football, but there's a reason that they're under the radar. And then that's the game that I don't think anyone would be surprised if the national champion comes from in Oregon and Ohio State, 2 of the top 5 teams in the country to begin the year. So I really only see those 2 as like the teams that I would say would be the odds-on title favorites. I don't know who that 3rd team would be.
Well, I agree with you on that. And this is why I talked about that matchup, how just unfortunate that was for both of those programs to find themselves in the same bracket area. I'm in agreement about Texas. I still think that there's a little bit of hesitancy for me to get totally on board, because I don't think they can get past any one of those 2 that come forth out of that Rose Bowl matchup. I look down. I still believe Penn State is fraudulent, but I think that lower bracket is the beneficiary of just a lot of luck in a lot of ways. I think Penn State, with their defensive front, who has been very good against the run, That's a great matchup for them, being that Boise State is going to do that. They're going to ground and pound, and they don't care what you think about it. They're going to continue to look for those creases and those holes. So that's what they're going to have to deal with. And Notre Dame's the beneficiary of probably some luck, unless you just didn't prepare for injuries that happen. And it's happened to me in times where I remember back when I was in high school where we were playing Central. Central was a very run-dominant team at the time, had a great line. Calvin Jones, former Husker, was their running back at the time. And we prepared for Calvin Jones. He gets injured. And I can't even remember the guy's name at this point, but he absolutely decimated us because we had prepared for Calvin. And that's the possibility of what can happen in this Georgia situation. At this point, I look at only two teams. Georgia would have been one I looked at, but the Carson Beck situation makes it a little bit tougher. Penn State has a chance. They have a chance to get out of that, get into the championship game with the way things are looking on that bottom half bracket. But I do believe that somebody comes out of the Rose Bowl. Just we'll see who that's going to be.
All right, Stricky, let's make our picks. Who you got tonight? You got Penn State, you got Boise.
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Boise. And I'm only going to say it because Boise has a way in these type of games of showing improving. Showing up like look, here's why I say that. They know that you're going to come at them and try to stack the box. And I think because they're so creative, they will throw wrinkles at you. There's going to be all type. That's how Boise is. I don't care if it's in the special teams game. They're going to throw some stuff at you. And if you're not disciplined, you're not on point, you're going to get caught slipping. I think they go out early and they're going to do some stuff that might get them ahead enough to where it puts pressure on Aller and those guys to have to do something to stay on point. And I think they end up coming up short. And they might make a mistake or two, which I think is going to cost. I really think that Boise is going to throw some wrinkles that's going to give them a chance to win that game.
It's what they're known for, right? Think back to the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma, the hook and ladder, and then the Statue of Liberty to win the game, leading to the proposal from Ian Johnson. 2007, I believe that was one of the best games in college football history. Penn State being favored by 11.5 points is straight up disrespectful to Boise State. That is a complete slap in the face. I think that number is way too high. I got the Nittany Lions, though, Stricky. I do really like that defense. I think Aller makes one or two plays. I think Penn State is the team that starts out quickly, and Boise is not necessarily built to play from behind. So I got Penn State in a one-possession game.
I still win if they don't beat the spread, doggone it.
You do. You do.
Still win. Okay.
You do.
Let's go.
Texas or Arizona State? Taking the Longhorns, I figure?
Yeah, I'm going to go Longhorns on that one. I just think defensively they're too strong. Look, I like some of the things at Arizona. I just really think that Texas's defense is probably going to end up winning that for them, even if they make mistakes on the offensive side.
Fair enough. Let's do Oregon and Ohio State next. A rematch of a great game up in Eugene from earlier in the year. 13-0 Oregon, 11-2 Ohio State. Who's your pick in the Rose Bowl, Stricky?
As much as I would like to say Ohio State, do you still believe in Ryan Day? I don't know. But at this point, I look at the secondary. This is where I think they're penalty laden. Now, if they don't create penalties, they got a chance. But I think they have so many penalties in the secondary. I don't know if they can. I think Tez Johnson is a beast. I think he's going to open up avenues for some of those other guys. And I think they create too many penalties on the other side. And so I'm still going to go with Oregon because you still got to worry about the legs of quarterback.
Oh, Gabriel or Howard?
Dylan Gabriel. No, yeah, Gabriel.
Fair enough. I am still going back and forth on this game, Strike, because I think that there's a part of me that wants to root for my preseason prediction to be right. That says Ohio State finally figured it out. They played a good team in Tennessee. They got him at home. That was Ohio State answering the bell. They unlocked the secret formula. They found the secret sauce. Buckeyes are going to roll. Then there's the other part of me that last year when we were watching the Boston Celtics, Yeah, they're good, but can they really get it done? Yeah, they're good. Can this crew get it done? They're not built like a traditional, NBA finalist and contender like some of the last teams that have won it. We've been saying all year there's not a dominant team in college football. Well, there's only one undefeated team left, and it's Oregon, right? I don't want to underrate Oregon in this matchup. I just think it's a really crappy draw for the Ducks. I think Ohio State found something. I think their revenge factor is going to be on their mind. Will Howard could play one of the worst games of his career, and Oregon could win this one going away. That is absolutely on the table. But I just can't overwrite the revenge game factor. So I think
if they can run the ball with those two great running backs that they have at Ohio State, I think that gives them a shot. I think if they're good at running, they'll be fine. If they struggle in the run game, I think it's going to be trouble for them.
That's fair. All right, last game then. Dogs or Golden Domer, Stricky? Georgia, Notre Dame. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna go with Notre Dame with the injury situation. I just think that's tough to overcome. To add a quarterback, what type of chemistry does he have with those receivers? But again, it could be that situation where the injury, you don't prepare very well. He ends up using his legs. He ends up doing something that you don't really expect from a Carson Beck, and he has a great game. And we've seen that happen at times. And so this could be one of those times. But I really like Notre Dame's defense. I think it's going to be a closer game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So, Notre Dame's like Penn State to me. They haven't shown up in these big moments, and so they're very capable of falling short. But I don't know if this is the time. They're the beneficiary of a real troubled situation down there in Georgia, internally as well as on the field now with the quarterback miss.
That they are. Georgia favored by just 1 point. The total for the game, 45.5 points, which leads you to believe this is something in the neighborhood of a 23 to 22, 24-22 type of game. It's tricky. I just don't know again, right? I can't get over seeing DJ Uiagalelei throw for 400 yards when Trevor Lawrence was out with COVID against Notre Dame, but this is a different Notre Dame team. Xavier Watts is balling, one of the best defenders in America from Omaha, playing a huge role for Notre Dame, going to be a pretty high draft pick. I just don't see Georgia losing in its first game, right? I still think there's enough championship DNA there that as much as I think Notre Dame is playing some really good football right now, they're one of the hottest teams in the country. As much as I don't like how Georgia skated by, I just don't see Georgia losing this game. I think they find a way to keep it ugly, find a way to win the game, and I will take the Dogs in this one. All right, Stricky, we made it. We're at the segment. We went a little long with that, but that's okay. That was a great discussion. The top moments of 2024. You'll give your top 5. I'll give my top 5. Callers, hit us up, 402-464-5685. We can take your thoughts or on the text line and comment section as well. Best sports moments of 2024 when we get back to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln. League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit lovboma.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league.
Looking to upgrade your equipment? Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer in Nebraska and northern Kansas, has an offer you don't want to miss. Through December, purchase a model year 2022, 23, or 24 tractor, combine, or sprayer, and take advantage of financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months. That's right. Get the equipment you need with affordable payments designed to keep your operation running strong. Stop by your local Landmark Implement today or visit landmarkimp.com to learn more. Experience the Landmark difference.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just about 20 minutes left in On the Block for the year, and we want you to be a part of ringing in the new year with us. 402-464-5685. What was your favorite, what was the best sports moment of calendar year 2024? Austin Norman with you at 1040 O Street, Strick streaming in. Before we dive into our top 5 moments here, Strick, we get a text on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. 2366 was the texter. Said he saw a lot of sports moments in 2024. He attended 17 NFL games, 15 college football games, 5 NBA games, 3 Major League Baseball games. He was at the Final Four in Arizona, went to the Kentucky Derby, went to the Open in Scotland, was at the Paris Olympics. He was at the field storming when Ole Miss and Georgia played, and then was also at Super Bowl 58. What a year for you, 2366. Consider me jealous.
Consider me honored to know you. Well, we don't know you on the text line. Tell us your name so we can shout you out. But yes, man, that's a wonderful, wonderful moment in the year of sports for you. A shout out to you and your flight miles. Share those with Stricky.
Hey, hit it. Help a brother out. Help a brother out. Augie says Nebraska beating Colorado, Nebraska beating Wisconsin, and Nebraska winning its bowl game are the moments. He also said something else. I am not allowed to read that on the radio, though. So, Augie, I hope you understand. All right, Stricky. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Your top 5 moments of calendar year 2024 in sports. What you got?
I'm gonna go with Michigan with all of the adversity, all of the issues, all of the trouble. Jim Harbaugh bringing it home for his alma mater right before he exits stage left, before any trouble can face him, and make his way out to become a Los Angeles Charger head coach. But you can't deny what they were able to do. That run game was was awesome. Their defense held ground and took care of business, and they got the job done, and they won in spite of what people may have thought about them. They took care of business throughout that year.
I like it. Number five for me will be Jack Golke in the men's college basketball tournament. 10 threes to beat Kentucky. What an incredible moment for Oakland, Greg Kampe and that program, but also Strick, that holds a special spot because of everything else it kicked off, right? That moment led to so much change in college basketball, right? It's the end of the John Calipari era at Kentucky, which is a transformative era in college basketball. Your boy Eric Musselman goes out to USC because Andy Enfield goes from USC to SMU. It was just a tangled web of stuff going on just because some no-name guy who transferred up from Division II hits 10 threes in a game in the NCAA tournament. It's why we love margin for my money. That was the best moment of the best tournament in sports.
Okay, I'm going to go for my number 4. I'm going to go with NC State winning 9 straight games. Nobody would have ever thought they would have been able to get there. They win 9 straight, not only to win the ACC tournament, go in and make a run into the Final Four. I thought that was a huge moment because it was big Cinderella time for them to do so, and just, coming up a little short.
I like it, but I hate it because I was personally victimized twice over those 9 games. But I get it. That was one of the biggest stories in that tournament, was that Cinderella run. Number 4 for me, Strick, Major League Baseball history. Shohei Ohtani completing his path to 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same year. He did it in the same game against the Miami Marlins. He steals third base for his 50th stolen base, would steal second base later in the game as well. But that night at the plate, 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, an RBI single, and 10 total runs driven in. One of the best games by a hitter at the plate in baseball history, and he became the first person in baseball history to go 50-50. What a year for Shohei Ohtani, pretty much all encapsulated in that one night in Miami.
My number 3, I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers because they had gotten there multiple times and found themselves getting up big in the Stanley Cup final, having the Edmonton Oilers run back at them, take it to a Game 7, and they were able to close it off and get the job done. Shout out to the Florida Panthers because I know what it's like to break through on that first one, especially being an expansion team. Get there, be on the precipice of breaking through, come up short, and you get there and you solidify your first in a Stanley Cup championship.
That's a good one. I can't believe I forgot that one off of my list. That was such a cool story to track and to monitor for Florida. Number 3 for me, Stricky, Novak Djokovic completing the career Golden Slam. He had the Grand Slam in tennis, had won all 4 Opens. The one thing that had eluded him, an Olympic gold medal. He's facing one of his younger nemesis in Carlos Alcaraz from Spain, who's been really good in tennis. And this, to me, Strick, might put Djokovic over Federer and Nadal when it comes to all-time greats in the sport of tennis. We think about Federer and Nadal and the back and forth they had. Novak Djokovic popped on the scene in the middle of these guys' runs and then was one of the best players or individuals in tennis. What an incredible run for him. What an incredible career for him at age 37 to cap it off with an Olympic gold medal. There's really nothing more that he can accomplish in the sport of tennis. So I've got the Joker, tennis style, completing the Golden Slam at number 3.
Shout out to him on that. My number 2 is going to be UConn men's basketball, getting their 2nd straight national championship and cruising to it. They were a dominant force. There's really not much anybody could do with those guys. They went in there with a focused mindset, and that's a hard thing to do, especially in college basketball. Not only to stay towards the top of the top 25, but then to make a run in the NCAA tournament and to pull it off by winning it back-to-back.
Yeah, that was another huge story. Number 2 for me, I go back to Major League Baseball, and I go to the second best moment for me, Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam in Game 1 of the World Series. This Dodgers team, not exactly plucky underdogs, right? They have a big payroll. but their pitching was toast, a lot of injured arms. Freddie Freeman was dealing with some injuries. And then, of course, Strick, the story of his son, diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome during the year. Freddie Freeman misses some time. He's hobbled on a hurt ankle, and he goes all Kurt Gibson on Nestor Cortez. On the first pitch he sees, the Yankees intentionally walk Mookie Betts to load the bases for Freddie Freeman. A defensible decision, right? Get a force at every base with 2 outs. But here's Freddie Freeman after the year that he's had, the being banged up, being hobbled. What an incredible moment for him. I looked up just in time to see the pitch, to see the swing. So maybe that one's a little higher on my list because I did actually witness it on TV. And no, I'm not just trying to, throw some sand in Rico's face or anything. That's not what this is about. But when I think of just those iconic images that are going to stick with me from 2024 in sports, Freddie Freeman uncoiling that swing, the bat flip rounding the bases, given the context, that to me is moment number 2 of the year.
For me, to round it off, February 11th, 2024, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas. This will be controversial because there'll be a lot of people, and I'm one of those tinfoil hat dudes. But yeah, they were able to go back to back in an unexpected manner after there's no one even thought they should have won the first one, let alone the second one, and to be able to pull it off and still find themselves looking at possibly a third look. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs right down the road, 3.5 hours. And shout out to them. They're my number 1 option as far as going back to back in the NFL. And we know how that is because normally those teams get one of the toughest schedules and still to be able to pull it off. Shout out to the Chiefs.
I like it. Number 1 for me, I'll get to here in just a second. 3 that I had as honorable mention, Strick. Alex Cedric from the U.S. women's rugby team, her 99-yard, touchdown run was essentially to win the game and the U.S.'s first medal ever in rugby. That was a pretty cool moment, kind of put rugby on the national stage. Mondo Duplantis and his high jumping, U.S. gymnastics, of course, doing their thing. Women's soccer with the 3-headed monster that they had as well. A lot of great Olympic moments. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl walk-off was an honorable mention for me. That drive started at the Chiefs' 25-yard line, converted some third downs, converted a 4th down early in that drive as well. Best players in the world making the best plays, and of course, notable for Kyle Shanahan forgetting how the overtime rules worked in the NFL, which is kind of funny. And then Caitlin Clark breaking the college basketball scoring record officially.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the help of the 3-point line, and I am loath to give Caitlin Clark too much credit, but it was a huge moment and a huge story in sports. Couple from the
hey,
you got it?
Real quick before you go to the text line. I also want to know your worst moment. Listen, your worst moment of something that you saw happen this year. If you can have it, maybe you can drop yours, Austin, on the crossover. But I'm going to tell you my worst moment, and that was during the Paris Olympics in 2024 in breakdancing, making its first and probably last appearance in the Olympic sport in Paris. And that is my worst moment was Ray Gunn. Ray Gunn from Australia. Yes and no. And you know what I do with that, Austin? I give her 2 thumbs down.
Let's make it 4 thumbs down. What an embarrassment on the international stage. We have OGCJ saying, really hate to say this, but Penn State winning the volleyball national championship is probably a top moment of the year, but he would throw Nebraska's triple or double sweep of Wisconsin, 3 victories over Wisconsin as his number 1 moment. For me, Stricky, number 1 is from the Olympics. It's Steph Curry saying night-night to Serbia in the championship game. Of course, you think about it against France, right? The clutch shots that he hit, the behind the back to beat the double team. That was in the semifinals. Team USA was in trouble against Serbia.
Yeah.
A little bit of trouble against France, but they were down, I think, 15 points at one point against a really good Serbia team, led, of course, by Nikola Jokic and Bogdanovic brothers. That's a talented team. That's a tough team with a lot to prove. Steph Curry had his 2 best games of the Olympics in the semifinal game against France and then the final game against Serbia. I think he had 7 or 8 threes in the first half, ended up with, I think, 10 of them for the game. What an incredible performance by him in his first Olympics. Steph hadn't made the Olympics before, and this was the Dream Team 2.0. You get LeBron in probably his last Olympics. You get Captain America, Kevin Durant. They get Steph Curry to go out because the Warriors don't make the finals and he's not dealing with an ankle injury. Obviously, there's no shortage of love and appreciation for Steph Curry, what he's done for the game of basketball, what he's done to the game of basketball. But it looked like this was the year that the world was finally going to take down the Americans. France being at home with Wemby and Gobert. Their role player stepped up on the international stage. Steph plays a big part in that. And then he follows it up, right? Against Serbia, against the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic, who played some really good basketball throughout the Olympics. In what will probably be the only Olympic appearance for Steph Curry, he made it count. And to me, the night against France and against Serbia, that's the lasting image of sports in 2024 for me.
Love it.
Love it.
Great stuff.
Well, Stricky, it's been a fun year on the block. We'll cut you loose. We'll handle crossover here. We'll talk to you, though, on a Thursday on January the 2nd. It has been a great year, partner. As always, thank you for everything. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your day.
Happy New Year. Y'all be safe out there. Get an Uber if you need it. Y'all be good.
That's advice from me, Strick. We'll talk to him on Thursday. We'll go to break. Short crossover. Get you to Old School next.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
It's that magical time of year, but amidst the festivities, you should celebrate your health too. With all the delicious treats and holiday cheer, it's easy to let healthy habits slip. But just a few simple choices can help you enjoy the season without the stress of extra pounds. Make time for physical activity, eat in moderation, and focus on your well-being. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska to learn more. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with Omaha's first serve on January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Witness history in the making as Love Omaha Volleyball takes on Love Madison in the team's inaugural home match. Be there to watch Olympic teammates Jordan Larson and Lauren Carlini go head-to-head in a battle of the world's best. Visit LOVBOMA.com for tickets starting at $31. Volleyball is the next major league. If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to look at their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Looking to upgrade your equipment? Landmark Implement, your John Deere dealer in Nebraska and northern Kansas, has an offer you don't want to miss. Through December, purchase a model year 2022, 23, or 24 tractor, combine, or sprayer, and take advantage of financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months. That's right. Get the equipment you need with affordable payments designed to keep your operation running strong. Stop by your local Landmark Implement today or visit landmarkimp.com to learn more. Experience the Landmark difference.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, one final time for the year. We are back here during On the Block. Austin Norman, joined by Jay Foreman for the crossover, brought to you by our friends at Love Volleyball Omaha. Just about 24 days away from first serve for them at Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Got a handful of former Huskers on the team. Jordan Larson, Justine Wong-Arantes, Maddie Kubik, Lauren Stivrins, and now officially Lexi Rodriguez in for the Omaha team. First game for them at January 24th in Ralston. Jay, what's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Doing all right.
What was the best Nebraska football moment of the season?
I'd say probably beating Colorado and then obviously becoming bowl eligible. Both of them were pandemonium. I think that's the two times they rushed the field, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are two. I know it's supposed to be one, but they're kind of both the same.
But just pick 44 moments while you're at it. That's your favorite number.
That's it, man. That's it, man. You know, I think that I'd probably say if I had to pick one, I would say the Wisconsin aftermath or that game.
Fair enough.
Because it's 10 years. I didn't realize Wisconsin had beaten us 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
They were playing for bowl eligibility too.
Mm-hmm.
They just had, taken Oregon right to the very end, and it was set up for them to do it again, and Nebraska beat the brakes out.
Those are definitely the two games. The moments for me both come from Colorado. The first one for me was the Tommy Hill pick six. That's the first time I'm like, this could really be Nebraska's day, right? That was a pandemonium moment, like you said. It was oh my gosh, they're going to do this. You had a chance to dunk on Shadur and dunk on Travis Hunter. Right. John Bullock dropping into coverage, take it away, force the long throw to the sideline. And then, you end the non-conference, almost end the non-conference with the Ramir Johnson catch for the touchdown, right? Nebraska finally got a bounce, finally got a break, put him up by 4 scores heading into halftime, and then just to turn around and see Ramir ice the pinstripe bowl on 4th down. Kind of full circle moment for him. So those would be probably the two specific moments I would say for Husker football.
Yeah, I'd probably say if I had to have one, I would probably maybe say the Dowdell, running over in his touchdown, running over Shiloh, just because that's pretty much set the tone. I mean, I think the Tommy Hill pick, even though it was a great play, I think it was, a lot of luck. I mean, that's never going to happen.
It's a stupid throw.
Yeah, and that never happens with Shadur. And but you know what? You got to take advantage of it. And like you're right, the Ramir thing, that was a pick, and then it bounced right in there. That's when it's our night, man. It's get some bounces go your way, and then an old momentum doesn't leave your sideline.
We will just get out of here early. We'll call it a break here because you guys got 1 hour of old school before we get you to take it down. Tuesday, what you got for the hour, Jay? What are we doing?
Well, obviously, Michigan, Alabama just finished. You got another bowl game. And then obviously, I guess we can dive into a little bit of Nebraska basketball. I know you and Strick hit it. And then obviously, you got the big game tonight. I'm trying to. I heard you guys talking about it.
You can't make up your mind, can you?
I think Penn State's going to win. I just don't know if they're going to beat them as bad as the point spread.
It's not 11.5. There's no way.
You don't think so? Well, we're going to have to decide. You're going to have to talk me either way. I got a couple steak dinners on this. I'm not even a gambler. Yeah, so I need your help.
Okay.
I might be able to change. You got to change my. I got another. Whenever I got until kickoff.
You do.
Day from Renew. Keep your text open, man. Anyway, yeah.
Stick with us. That's Old School coming up next. Big thanks to Nebco, Allo, and Starter Heyman for all their sponsorships of On the Block. Don't go anywhere. Old School comes your way next on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Start your New Year's Eve celebrations with the Lincoln Stars when they host the Omaha Lancers on Tuesday, December 31st at the Icebox. The puck drops at 6:05.